during D&D.
Alright, I think the stream is up and running. I know that we are missing a basics, and I think we were going to stall for a few minutes in case Azel made it.
And he did.
And
he's right there.
Excellent. Then all of the vamping was not for nothing.
Yeah.
How is the vacation? Well, adventure.
So far, the vacation is wonderful.
Where are you located?
In LA.
You're in LA?
I am in LA.
Whoa.
I spent the day in Universal Studios.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, yes, Universal. Love it.
Mm-hmm. My girlfriend had never been to Harry Potter Land, so...
Spider.
That was pretty cool.
I just assume since you're in LA, that means you're close to everybody because everyone's in California, and I don't have a good
it's definitely not
concept.
700 miles long. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a good concept of how big California is still.
I have a notch on my belt. I actually went to the Universal Harry Potter place, basically within like a month of it opening. That was kind of nice. I was one of the first people. I was one of the first people to get butterbeer.
Sir, I was there before you.
I don't believe you.
100%.
When did you go?
I went before it opened, so.
Damn it! Not fair. How did you manage that?
He 3D printed himself a ticket.
Yeah. Duh. He paid his
Stop
friend
giving me all my secrets.
No. What he did was he paid his friend Mike $600 because that's how it works.
Fucking Mike, man.
Is that how you got it?
No, I went to school with a guy in Florida who worked at Universal's, and I was able to get in that way.
Nice. It is sometimes about who you know.
It is most of the time, I feel like.
Ask Foob about his new job.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that I got it through K, so...
Reasonable.
Or she was at least a good reasoning as to why I got it.
Yeah. I think that's part of just being a human person, is developing those important social contacts within your network, and then there's no shame or harm in leveraging them for something.
Always.
Depending on what you're leveraging, but absolutely, I agree.
All right, I think we're all here. We were planning on a no basics, and I think that's everybody else. True or false?
True.
All right then. Who remembers where we are and what we're doing well enough to give us a recap? Previously on D&D. Don't make Zell do it again, guys. Come on.
Sorry, I have a headache right now. I will
I
try.
can do it, because I fell asleep last time.
So, we did the 200 nautical mile depth relay race, going back and forth to this underwater cavern.
Oh, right, the puzzle.
Yeah, we started dealing with... Okay. We dealt with some puzzles. We came down, we're in a dome, a magic dome that is holding back water in what appears to have been an ancient civilization. We know it's related to Old Elvish, or some kind of Old Elvish dialect, because Lav can kind of understand what's going on. There were 3 different pathways that were open. I can't remember the names. I think it was Wit, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Ingenuity, I think?
Insight,
Pretty
thank you.
good.
Yeah. We did 2 out of the 3. One was the rune puzzle, where we had to make all the pieces match in a specific type. The other one was the one where we had to type of speech magic, where we had to speak secrets into orbs to fill up this glowing tetrahedron ball.
Mm-hmm.
And now we were on our way to the last puzzle. I don't remember which it is, though. I think it's Wisdom.
It is Wisdom.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions or additions?
I just wanted to add that we didn't put enough emphasis on the swimming relay race, that we spent something like an hour and a half.
because it was unclear that we could actually just swim there.
Yeah, I was caught between like trying to create the dark foreboding hole in the ground, and then also convey that 200 feet is not that far to swim, really, when all said and done. But I did feel like it got lost in the translation somewhere.
Maybe for you.
Sir, if I can do a lap of my local swimming pool, I'm impressed with myself.
I mean, 200 feet's not that far, but then again, I was also in competitive swimming when I was younger, so.
Oh wait, also, wasn't it last session that we fought those 2 fish?
Yeah, the
Yep.
It was.
cloakers.
So,
Yep.
where I was at was we killed the fish, we went on break, I went and laid down, and then I don't remember anything about the session until we were already down in the cavern. So that's about how much I remember.
Okay.
Apparently, I was asleep for longer than I thought. Thanks, recap.
And Fubarius, are you caught up now based on what you've missed through your sleepiness?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember the relay the race or the wisdom one with the matching symbols.
We haven't done the wisdom yet. That was, I believe,
the-
intellect. Yeah.
The intellect one, sorry.
I'm not sure if you would have liked that one or not.
It was good.
Yo, but we rocked.
Yeah, you guys crushed that one.
It's fine.
It
And
was
then-
like that was borderline too pedantic, but
I'm pretty good at smashing things.
Special mentions to Feisty completely guessing the second puzzle without any real good context clues.
I think I remember waking up around that part.
yeah,
Maybe.
just his experience as a player and his character's, world traveledness seems good enough reason to me. All right, before you lies the last door. Similarly to the other two, it remains closed as you approach. The glowing pseudo-elvish sigil above the door glows, pulsing in and out. Same thing over and over again. It basically just says wisdom to Alexis's best translation. As before, you would just have to touch the glowing sigil to open the door,
Let's
if you
open
wish
it.
to proceed.
Yeah.
I touch the glowing symbol and yell, "Open sesame!"
Open sesame!
Okay.
Look, I'm magical.
I thought there was a reason. Cool, the door was actually closed. Thank you, Trey. I thought my map was glitched.
No, you good. I'm just gonna
A
let
very
it go through
unassuming
this
room.
map. Those are the best kind. Alright. And is the panther... Oh, that was the...
That's mine.
That's not... Yeah. And it's still here.
I'm surprised that you didn't kill it during the fishy fight.
Yeah, your pets tend to be pretty MVP, though.
Yeah.
They punch above their weight class in almost every fight we've had. I'm gonna just put Kig not here. Alright. The Alexis is the first one into the room. It is, as you said, a kind of nondescript, unassuming room. There's not a lot going on here. Against the far side of the wall, there are some runes, some sigils that look more crudely drawn. These are kind of like hand-tapped or chiseled into the far wall. You'll need to examine them closer for me to give you any more than that.
I'd like to examine them.
Examine sesame.
Examine sesame! Once everyone is inside the room, the door closes behind you, slamming shut. And
That didn't happen before.
everyone can hear like the sound of rumbling of stone grinding against stone under immense pressure and strain, and a deformation. 2 square sections of the floor at the center of the room begin to rise up out of the ground. I'm sorry.
Hey, Marius, you should probably move.
I don't know if that worked, but out of the center of the room rises an enormous, like, wrought iron lever
Uh-oh.
and an intricate glass of sand, a large glass hourglass. I hate saying glass twice there. A intricate hourglass with sand that's already running down it.
I'm not going to touch this lever because I know what happened last time when I pulled the lever.
What does the runes say?
I'll need Lav to make a wisdom check to decipher them.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna just tell
Excuse me, Alexis. I almost did. But then I remembered this is a game of dice.
Wisdom.
Oh no! Come on.
Look at that! My bad rolls return.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
You think it says wisdom is wise, the wise man possesses wisdom, the trial of the wise man has begun.
Oh, exciting.
Can
Wait.
can the other elf look at it and read it?
Alexis is the only one uniquely qualified because of her special brain and the fact that she's already perused this language in that historical tome at the Athenaeum.
Oh, okay.
No one else really has exposure to the language. It's not just that it's close to Elvish, it's that for her that was the building block between a language I don't know and a language that I do.
Okay.
is there any more to this room besides the lever and the hourglass?
No, it is remarkably nondescript and bland. Everything else has had artistic flourishes, at least beautiful scrawling, artistic flourishes along the wall, the baseboards. Like, artistic care and intention was put into all of the other rooms. This one seems to be deliberately Spartan.
Observing the hourglass, can we determine how much time we have to solve this puzzle?
The hourglass is now almost half empty.
Oh, Jesus.
You would guess that it measures approximately 1 minute.
Is the hourglass standing, or is it like is it a tiny one that's kind of like on a
It's floating in free space, being supported by some of that like anti-gravity moss we found before at its center point, and it stands almost 3 feet tall, with each hemisphere of the glass dome being about 1.5 feet.
Can it be turned?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It looks like it could easily be freely turned. Yes.
I
I'm a
want
little
to turn it and
concerned.
see what happens.
The sand begins to run the other way.
Well,
I'm a little concerned about this lever
We did it.
because
Can I,
the
can I
door
pull the lever?
closed. Oh, okay.
I asked the party if it's okay if I pull a lever.
I assumed one of you would.
yeah. I think you should just pull the lever and see what happens.
I'm gonna pull a lever.
The water starts rising up from the floor.
And you're dead. You, Leo, grab the lever, and considering its age and considering its condition, it's actually a very smooth action. It just very easily moves away from the position away from you to the position towards you. And when you do that, the hourglass moves in time to like a neutral flat position where both spheres are parallel to the ground for just a second. There's a high-pitched hum that begins to make the glass vibrate, and then suddenly a globe of force erupts from both of the spheres of the hourglass. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ugh.
Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
The dice hate me.
I don't see what the problem is.
What's a +8? I got a 9. I'm like, what the fuck?
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Leo and Reed and Marius, you guys feel just like a twinge in your stomach, like a passing wave of nausea, while you can feel like a reverberating sort of baseline in the hollows of your chest, and nothing more. Everyone else, you double over in pain as blood vessels inside of your body burst, small lacerations tear across the surface of your skin, and some of you experience fractured bones. Those who failed their saving throws, the non-Dax, non-Zell, non-Leo people, take 15 points of force damage.
Ah!
After that reverberation bounces around the chamber a few times, the hourglass resets to the position that it was in, and the lever goes back to the away from Leo position.
Reed speculates out loud. Maybe we have to stop it at the right time?
I mean, I think that is correct.
But what is the right time?
The end time.
What if
Fools,
you all?
mortals, I have foreseen this outcome.
What if we let it run out?
Thank you.
And then when we pull the lever, you all stand on the side of we all stand on the side of the room where it's empty. Maybe the force attack comes from the sand.
Is there anything in the room at all that would give us clues as to when the appropriate time to stop the sand?
There are no
Hourglass.
frescoes, no artwork, no features really beyond the runes that Alexis attempted to translate already that
And-
seem to suggest that the test of wisdom had already begun, and that a wise man is one who possesses wisdom.
From Alexis's transcription, how many times is the word wise repeated?
The sigil that he identifies as wisdom appears only twice. My translation flourishes were just merely to represent that he's not 100% sure what it said.
Is there anything significant about the hourglass besides its size and that it's floating?
Just that it's obviously magical. Otherwise, it looks like, any number of mundane hourglasses you've seen.
But there are no etchings or markings on it. And
Nope.
okay,
No help whatsoever.
God. 42. We stop it at 42 seconds.
Because that's the answer.
To life, the universe, and everything.
I'm going to suggest to everyone that we wait till it runs out and then flip the switch.
Before that happens, I'm gonna heal Jezza.
Please do.
Oh geez, I forget how to do this.
You forget how to heal, or you forget how to roll it?
Hit points.
I didn't see a rule. Maybe my stuff is lagging.
There it is.
Jezza, you take 6 plus the number of your hit dice health back.
Oh, 12. Okay. Wait, 22.
Nice. 12 HP is pretty good for a little healing kit action.
Heck yeah, it is.
Does anyone else need health?
Once Reed is done healing Jezza, you all note collectively that the hourglass is now at about half empty, half full, depending on your optimistic or pessimistic appraisal of situations. There's an equal amount of sand at the top and the bottom of the hourglass.
How much does Alexis have, health-wise?
I have 17.
I'm gonna heal Alexis as well.
Okay.
7 plus your hit die.
You gain 13.
Nice.
After a little bit of conjecture and healing Alexis, the hourglass is now 1 quarter and 3 quarter, 25% on top, 75% on bottom.
No, I'm with Leo. Let's run out and see what happens.
I'm with Leo too.
Door's
to be honest.
closed.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
run out. Got it.
Once everyone just sort of gathers around, sweating, palms are wet, everybody's uneasy, the last few grains of sand empty from the top vessel. All the sand is now gathered in the bottom half. And the same rumbling, the glass almost warps this time as a shaking begins to happen, and a massive wall of force erupts out of the glass feature. With a bellowing crack of thunder, it seems much more powerful than it was last time. Everyone in the room needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
I'm lucky I could go again.
God damn it.
Fuck. What is with my die today?
Oh shit.
I agree. This is very unpleasant.
Couple of
Well.
good saves there, though.
Don't let it run out.
So, Marius, again, the wave makes you slightly dizzy and nauseous, but nothing more. Jezza and Alexis and Kel, all of you guys, the worst pain you can possibly imagine. It feels like your insides are trying to explode out of your body. The three of you take 20 points of damage. Leo, you also made your save. You're good. You just get, a little uneasy. It's hard to stand up without feeling dizzy. Get a little bit of nausea in the pit of your stomach. But those people that roll a 14 or lower take 20 points of force damage as your body is racked by this destructive energy.
Damn.
Well, let's not let it run out ever again
No.
until we figure out the solution.
Keeling
Is-
over, hands on my stomach. I just shout out, "Can one of you smart people figure this out already, please?"
How much time ran through the last time we pulled it?
It was like 3/4 with like a quarter on top and 3/4 full.
Should we wait for half and half? Pull it.
Yes, half and half.
Are we sure?
Well, technically,
yeah, we're really sure.
technically, we haven't pulled it yet when it's empty.
Yes.
I think.
let's-
Well,
Is there any kind of way that I can investigate this, or even look at this from a magical means, just to kind of figure out what's going on, since we have nothing to go on for this puzzle besides pain?
Besides pain. Give me a moment to think about how we could frame this in a way that's helpful. Yeah,
Kelly,
give me an Arcana.
Kelly, you're healed for 15, by the way.
That's the lowest Arcana in a while.
Unsurprisingly, you can confirm that the hourglass is some kind of force magic projector, which you almost feel embarrassed sharing that with the class because that seems pretty obvious to everyone.
Yeah.
There is no obvious trigger. There is no obvious code or magic word. There's not the usual disarming triggers that you would find in some arcane traps. Usually there's at least oh, this is expecting input. There's a sigil here that we either need to turn, or a command word that needs to be spoken, a button that needs to be pressed. The hourglass that is this force projector doesn't seem to have any of that, which is disconcerting. It makes it a very effective weapon, but it makes you wonder why it's here. If it's not meant, if there's nothing about it that needs to be solved. There's no obvious trigger, there's no obvious off button. The
What if
hourglass
we
turns over and begins running sand down again.
What if we stop it? Actually stop it at halfway, not just pull it at halfway, but also stop it.
Well, that's
You mean tilt it at halfway and just kind of hold it there?
Yeah. I don't know. Does anyone have a better idea?
I think we have
well,
to
before it
pull
gets
the
to
lever
halfway,
past this.
Can Leo at least try to see if he can forcibly hold it in half? Or it's
Sure. Approach the hourglass and give me a strength check.
all right.
You grasp it at the top and the bottom half of the glass, and you actually flag pull yourself. You move your whole body perpendicular to the hourglass, but you are unable to budge it even a centimeter.
Okay.
It seems fixed in place by some kind of force-based effect.
Wait, But we were able to turn it before without any issue.
Turn it yes, but hold it no.
Oh, sorry. The lever was pulled before, I think. Either way, once the sands runs, I don't remember if I narrated that or not. Once the sand is running, the hourglass can be manipulated.
Can or can't?
Can. So now that it's dripping from top to the bottom, sorry, Leo, yes, you would be able to turn it over. Once you begin to turn it, though, it just goes back to the other setting. Like, you can't stop it. You can't cause it to stop midway.
So even with the full strength, I just can't stop it. Okay.
Right,
Makes
you
sense.
flip it over, and then, unfortunately, you flip it over so that there are only 3 or 4 grains in the top. Those run down to the bottom, and the glass begins to shake, tremor, and a massive wave of force racks across the entire room again.
Wait, I thought he was trying to flip it over at halfway.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying you wanted to flip it at full, so that there'd be
No.
nothing.
No.
I'm sorry,
Before
guys,
it gets to halfway, we wanted to see if we could stop it midway so it was turned 90 degrees.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. What you want to do, as you're explaining it to me now that I understand what you're saying, you wanted to like basically keep it parallel to the ground.
Yes.
Correct.
So that the sand can't run.
So it
that
stops
doesn't,
time.
Right. I get you. Your attempt to stop time, Leo, does not work. It reorientates itself. Like, it's kind of like you can spin it, and once it starts spinning, it will just go to one of 2 default positions. So you can always choose, like, top or bottom for either half of the glass, but there is no in-between position that you can create.
Damn you, time. Can't stop you. Then we should definitely maybe try to pull the lever when it's half and half.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to pull the lever at half, but we need to heal up.
Is there any part of this cave that we can stand where we won't get hit by the force waves? Or is it everywhere in the cave gets hit by it?
It seems to be omnipresent. It seems to have effectively hurt everyone and we're got a pretty good spread right now.
Okay.
Does Leo see any marking on the hourglass themselves, maybe showing the halfway mark?
I don't think there'd be gradation, but you can easily tell.
Okay.
Using your keen eye as a craftsman, you can very accurately gauge at least quarter intervals.
Before we are you healing me, Zell?
As best I can.
Because I also have a self heal, but it's a long rest one. So, in character, I was gonna ask. I pulled the 2 swirly white potions that I have left in my belt or my pack from when I looted the Foot Locker that I found on the beach. I kind of, one in each hand. I like hold them up to Marius and I said, "These were yours, right? What do they do?"
I'm assuming that I would be able to identify them.
I assume you would too. And while I try to open up my notes here, because I know... Sorry guys, I was not entirely prepared for this. I don't see it here. I know what it is, though. I don't have a handout prepared. I'm so sorry. They are potions of invulnerability, which, despite what the name sounds like, just gives the character resistance. I can't show it to you, but anybody can search the compendium for potion of invulnerability. For 1 minute after you drink this, you gain resistance to all damage types.
And resistant. When you say invulnerability, do you mean are we talking like divine shield invulnerability, or?
No, it just grants you resistance. In D&D, that's not like a euphemism. That's an actual term that means 50%. You have all damage.
Okay, all right.
So it's like that large potion for divinity.
Thank you, Lab. That makes sense. All right. Since I'm assuming this has all been kind of in this time bubble that we're all discussing this stuff. I'm going to use Wholeness of Body, which is my long rest action. I'm going to heal myself for 3 times my monk level.
Okay.
So I'm going to gain 18 hit points, putting me up to 26.
That seems
Right.
good.
Yeah. Also, try when these force waves have been coming out of the hourglass. Are they like the sand is coming down, and then is it like one of the wooden lids of it like pops open and it's like it comes out of that open end, or?
No, I don't remember who said it. Either Feisty maybe or somebody said that the sand itself seems to be magical. That like it seems as though the energy, the force itself, is emanating from the grains of sand because the glass itself sort of vibrates as waves issue forth, out. From
Okay,
the
so it's
core.
like sound.
Leo
Is-
said it. Leo said it.
Is the glass breakable?
I think that's a bad idea.
Agreed.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I feel like we should do that after we try the half and half. To
Okay.
be honest,
I think that's
That's
a
fair.
bad idea.
I feel
But
like
Jezza
that's
thinks
a great idea if the half and half doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
Because it's something about wise man and time. You just let it out of a bottle. I don't know. There's a thing
But
there.
the plan, we're coming up on the halfway now, where you've got about 30 seconds at the top and then about 30 seconds in the bottom. Do you want to pull the lever here, or
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
Forward.
let's
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
Jezza grabs the lever and just pulls it.
Now.
Do it. Do it.
and then I pull it and I run over and I hug Lav
Nice.
just to make I'm hugging him to try and like brace him.
I'm gonna die.
Well, that's interesting positioning, actually. You pull the lever, and the hourglass turns in a moment so that it's parallel to the ground, so that sand for a brief second isn't running in either direction. The sand causes a massive and violent cavitation, shaking the glass, and a wave of force explodes outward. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw. However, Jezza, you can make your saving throw with advantage.
Fuck.
Oh, is that enough?
Is mine counting towards Alexis because I'm trying to brace him, or?
I assumed you'd end up behind him just because he's bigger. If you're trying to be in front of him, then
I'm in front of him. Yeah, that was the goal.
okay, then Alexis, you'll make your saving throw with advantage, as you are being shielded by two people. Wow, a round of great saves. This time only Kel is negatively affected, coughing up just chortling blood. You take 10 points of force damage as this destructive wave just wreaks havoc across your system.
Well, that was the least amount of damage we've taken so far.
I think Leo's gonna at this point pull a Gimli moment and just pull out his manville and just say, "I've had enough of this," and just try to smash it.
Reed
Before
says,
you-
wait.
I would like to kind of just motion Leo, and I said, "I like your idea, but I have one of my own real quick."
Okay.
You said this is like a reverberation, right? Try like it's like a sound wave almost, like a force wave.
Yeah, it's like a force wave. Mm-hmm.
Like effectively, it's like if you were to stand like if an explosion was to go off, it would be like the wave of air, that
Correct,
pressure
like
wave
the
hitting
leading
you.
wave of pressure. Yep.
Okay. As the sand is flowing down, I want to just gently with my fingers tap the hourglass.
So the hourglass resets, choosing an up and down orientation, and it starts running sand again. You'll end up with like a 60-40 situation. You ting the hourglass, and it sounds like a half-empty glass of wine. You get that very high-pitched, very gratifying, thin glass sound. Ting!
Oh. How does the
Okay.
sound change as the time goes on?
If you continue to ting it, I think it would get higher pitched as the glass that you're tapping on becomes more empty.
Okay. So like how it normally would happen.
Okay. I have one
It would
final
become
question.
Lower pitch, wouldn't it?
I think it would be lower pitched if it was full.
No, I think it's the reverse.
It is
Higher
the reverse.
pitch if it's full, lower pitch if it's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It has more,
because
room to resonate.
what the ting is the resonation of the air inside.
That might be right.
Okay, then I have one last trick I'd like to try. As it's I'm assuming it's going to hit about the halfway point. What I'd like to do is I'd like to take both my hands, and I'd kind of like to just like, not full force, but kind of like I was going to throw a hug around it. I'd like to throw both my arms at the side of the sides of the glass that I can reach, and hold them there, and see what happens.
Oh, keep in contact while we pull a lever. See if the force just passes. through, perhaps.
I
You
think
just
we
want
should
to hold-
break it.
Yeah, like I kind of like slap it with both hands on the sides and just like see where the reverberations go. Like, do they pass through me? Type thing.
Okay. So Jezza is hugging the hourglass, for lack of a better term. We're down to about a quarter left in the hourglass, 3/4 in the bottom. Does anyone else want to take any actions?
That was the position it was at the first time we pulled it, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna hide behind Leo.
Okay.
Well,
If we
I-
flip it, if we just flip it 180, doesn't it reset and we gain more time?
Yes.
Yes.
What if we tried
Yeah.
flipping it at its current position and immediately pulled the lever? So because it's 3/4 to the bottom, 1/4 at the top. So
Wait.
it'd
I
be 3 at
support
the
that,
top
but
and
would
Can
the
I
you
bottom.
smashy,
please give me a
smashy?
moment? No!
No smashy.
I
Would
feel
you
like that's
please
what we
give me
need
a
to
moment
do.
to save this poor soul's life
Mm-hmm.
with my crab?
Healy crab.
The only thing I'm going to say is that if we're going to keep talking, if we're not in this perpetual time bubble, we should flip it now so we have more time.
That's
Okay.
what Reed's doing.
Can we just have the assumption that we are flipping it when we are talking, so that time is not running
Kind
out?
of what I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least Reed's doing it. He's just standing there doing it.
Unless this bogs down forever, I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. But if it takes too long to have a conversation, I'll remind you that we're almost out of time, and then I'll force the issue a bit. But I don't know where I put your crab. There it is. I found it. Let me get caught up.
If it helps, you don't actually need to place the token because he's just gonna stand next to Kel and just pinch him 5 times.
Peachy. That does
Does
help.
that put up to full?
No, but it's gonna do 5 1d6 heals.
So somewhere
So
between
potentially.
5 and 30.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just be at 15.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I was gonna roll, but that's fine.
You guys keep juggling the hourglass back and forth. The two theories that I've heard, and this is just to help guide the discussion. Leo wants to break it. Reed wants to try pulling the lever while it's 1/4 empty, 3/4 full.
I thought
Or
we
no,
also
3/4.
wanted to pull the lever while someone was touching it.
I assume that can be a part of that. Jezza hugging it can be a part of any of the plan.
Maybe not the breaking one.
Do you want to? That's what Reed votes for.
Okay. I say we do that one more time, and if it doesn't work, we break it. Or at least let me attempt to hit it.
This is wisdom, not brute force.
Hey, wisdom's letting time flow, man.
Letting time flow almost killed half of us.
No, that was letting time flow out. There's a difference.
Okay. Marius is proposing that, like, soon after we reset it, so that we can get most of the sand on top, very little sand on the bottom, pull the lever, then see what that looks like. I'd like a decision from you guys as to what we do next, before we get caught in the perpetual.
What
loop
position?
of-
What position are we closest to right now?
It would be almost running out. So, if you were going to flip it now, it would have most of the sand on top, very little sand on the bottom. The
Then-
exact situation Marius is discussing.
Then
Flip
I
and
think
pull?
we should pull the lever for that one first.
All right. I'm doing the thing with Lab again.
Marius'
Hugging him
suggestion.
close.
Okay. You are not holding the hourglass then.
Hold the hourglass. They can hide behind me.
I think Leo should hold the hourglass. All things
All right,
considered.
fuck it. I'll hold the hourglass.
Okay.
I'm still hiding behind Leo.
You might get like bicycle kicked by a dwarf. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we're going with Marius' suggestion then. Yes.
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
It's just about to empty. Leo pulls the lever and then grasps the hourglass. It spins over, kind of inverting him upside down in an awkward magic item 69. And there is a very soft reverberation. The glass barely vibrates. You can only feel it in close proximity. It sounds almost like a little wind chime instead of a thundering roar that we've experienced before. And a small wave of force issues out. The only people I need saving throws from are Jezza, if you're in front of Alexis, Marius,
Yep.
and Reed. Leo as well. So Alexis and Kel do not have to make them at all. The other 4 need to make them. So Reed and Jezza, you guys are fine. Marius and Leo, you both. It feels like somebody punched you hard in the stomach. It's not nearly as violent or as destructive as you've seen other people before. There's no like violent lacerations opening up on your skin or broken bones. Both of you take 5 points of force damage.
That's a
Okay.
step in the right direction.
So we've determined. So the way I'm thinking about this is that when we pull the lever, the hourglass does a 180, and all the sand that was on the bottom will go to the top, right?
Yes, that's yes.
So this is player knowledge, I guess. The more sand that gets flipped, the more force effectively that builds up on the sand because of mass and momentum, the more damage it does. Because when we flipped it when all the sand was already on top, well, like 99% of it was on top, and we flipped it, which put all that sand to the bottom, and like the 2 or so grains that were in the bottom half got flipped up, it did very little.
That seems like
It's-
a reasonable character observation. Anybody with a positive wisdom could probably draw the correlation at this point after 4 or 5 detonations that the force of the impact seems to be related to the amount of sand that is gathered at the bottom. It was the most damaging you've experienced was when all of the sand collected on the bottom, and the least damage you've experienced is when there were only a few grains at the bottom.
Can the lever be held like midway or fully all the way across, or does it automatically reset?
No, it's like it's clicking a gear. The lever becomes neutral after it's been moved to a position. So its only job is to activate a gear switch, and then it goes back to position. It's never under tension. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like a
So
clutch.
if we
The light
break it,
switch.
there's no mass for it to swing out because all the sand will come out.
With the experience we've had so far, is it possible that Alexis may have gleaned anything from this and could try reading the runes again?
I suppose you could try reading it again, Alexis, if you wanted to.
I do it again.
Another wisdom.
Okay. It's the 18. Goes the first one.
Mm-hmm. This time it says, intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing that it doesn't belong in a fruit salad.
And
And
charisma.
philosophy is wondering if ketchup is a smoothie.
It's
It is
actually a soda
totally
'cause it's
smoothie.
got sugar in it.
And charisma is selling salsa as a fruit salad.
Nice. Your body's racked, painfully bloody and broken. You're a little disorientated. You look at it again, and your translation wasn't far off. It seems to just be espousing that true wisdom is found, in the wisest of people by accepting the most simple solutions presented to them. It's much more elaborate, but it
Let's
seems to
break it.
be suggesting that wisdom is just seeing the truth for what it is.
When the
Simple
hourglass
solution is to break it.
When the hourglass ran out, did it automatically trigger, or did we have to pull the lever? I don't remember.
No, it automatically went off.
Got it.
Like it hit a critical mass when there was all of it in one spot.
I just want to try to like persuade everyone in Leah's voice that the simplest solution is to break it.
Make a persuasion check.
It's pretty mediocre.
Well, for Leo, it's pretty persuasive. You know that he's a person who doesn't speak often to the group. He addresses each of you one at a time, making good, solid eye contact, using your first names. Leo, the character.
Except for the elf, I clearly call him Pants.
Okay. except for Fancy Pants McGee. He seems like this is something he very much wants. If you don't like the idea and you'd like to in character, role play a discussion, now would be the time for that.
I'm
But
going to look at him really sternly and be like, I don't think this is a great idea, but I mean, I think we're all out of options, and then I kind of brace myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think this
Reed's
is a
inclined to
wonderful idea.
agree.
I absolutely can't wait to see what happens to you when you try and break that.
I'm gonna swing the manville at it after hearing that.
Okay. no more group buy-in. Just one man.
It's just alone. I'm just going for it. That was
all right.
That was basically the trigger to go turn on rage, and I'm raging, and I'm just gonna manville it.
Okay. Make an attack roll with the manville.
Please miss.
No, that hits. Roll damage with the manville. Surprised you didn't reckless just to be sure.
No. Raging, but not reckless.
No, not that. I mean, limits. You roar, having the power of your rage swell through your musculature, body just bursting at its seams. You draw the manville back, not on like a baseball bat, and just two-handed slash at the bottom half of the hourglass. The moment the manville comes into contact with it, it shatters into 1,000 pieces, and the sand from the hourglass begins to rapidly just pour out onto the floor, where it seemingly becomes inert. Once all of the sand has emptied from the hourglass and the lever recess into the floor, and the door opens.
Nice.
Who's the wisest of them all? It's Leo. Leo the wise man.
Hey, Marius, how does that crow taste?
Oh, I'm so glad I could inspire you.
I've wanted to do this for a long time in a D&D game, but I was worried that we have too many savvy players. I'm sure you guys have seen the classic Gary Gygax trap that is just a room with a lever in the center. And the idea is that players will create their own demons, right? All the lever does is open the door. So the players walk in, the door slams shut. There's, bones and blood and, murder holes and potential spikes. And there's like every insinuation that this is just a room of kill you to death traps. But really all it is just to let players come up with the worst case scenario and dissuade each other from ever wanting to touch the button. I wanted to do something on that, but I was worried that one or more of you would recognize that. So I wanted to use the lever as a red herring.
Well,
to throw you off from the very obvious solution. Just I
think you have determined that we all think we are too smart for our own good, and that you needn't worry about that going forward.
I loved it. Thank you for indulging me.
To be fair,
asking my glory here.
I definitely had the thought of, hey, I think we should just break it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I do remember, Kel sort of musing once you found out that the sand seemed to be the magical source of it. You were the first person, I think, who was like, oh, well, if there was no sand, I wonder.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, no, that's a bad idea. I'm like, okay.
No, that was a great idea. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, in my defense, as soon as he said that the glass was like really thin, I'm like, he wants us to break it. But I knew my character wasn't going to say that, so I'm like,
I was trying to make it into like a reverberation thing. Like you had to like use the force that was building up and then like have everyone hold hands to pass the wave somewhere and like get it to break the door open.
Bro, what do you think this is? A raid encounter?
Yes!
Weren't they all?
Reed was just going for process of elimination.
All right. The door is open. You guys can hear a low tone. Even as you're exiting this room with the lever and the hourglass, there's a low repeated tone, just a whom, whum, whum, coming from the main chamber. You guys go back, and you can see that obelisk, the magical device that's sat upon that plinth, keeping the water at bay, is giving you like the low battery warning light is on, essentially. The last of the green spherules that make up its heads-up display. The last one is just tentatively, slowly blinking. But all 3 runes for insight, wisdom, and intelligence are now glowing across the edifice of that device, and it looks like they are, those kind of like the holographic buttons you've been able to press in the past. It looks like it's expecting you to press them.
Press the button.
I pressed the
Press the
button.
button.
Oh, press the
As a person
button.
closest to it, I pressed the button.
You press the button, and a small recessed platform here. Oh, I can't ping. Sorry, I have the...
Here.
I was checking to make sure we weren't losing stream audio, and I went to test his computer. I can't ping from there. Right here-ish, there's a big ping, and a section of the floor opens up, and a large altar begins to rise up out of it, seemingly carved from just, it looks like, either abalone or maybe pearl, something that is naturally just very shiny and reflective. There is a crystalline spike, kind of looks like the crystal from the first Superman movies, that long cylindrical, can you picture what I'm talking
Prism.
about?
Yeah.
Just a long, narrow, like 8-inch crystalline shard that seems to just have radiant energy trapped within it, like light is just bouncing off of all of the interior walls thousands of times a second. And next to that is a large softball-sized stone orb with intricate rune work all over it and etchings that make it look like a small world.
Are they? I grabbed both of them.
I
Dude.
love this game.
I'm not stealing them. I'm just
Can you do it at the
grabbing
same
both
time?
of them.
Can you do it at the same time so we can watch you die?
The moment your hand touches the crystal, there's a pulse that just shoots out, filling this entire room with a high-pitched sound, and all of you kind of like lose balance and collapse on the ground.
Uh-oh.
And you can hear a voice speaking incredibly fast directly into your inner mind, and you see flashes of events, recollections of histories you've never experienced, thousands of years of a collected story being told to you in rapid succession. It's more
Try.
than your mind can almost bear.
Try really quick.
Sir?
Would this do anything if I were to cast it really quick? Would I be able to understand it immediately, or does it have to be a creature itself?
It
Yes.
has to be a creature.
Okay.
Comprehend language would be the one that you want.
Mhm.
Ah. Okay. Fair enough. Continue.
But as all of this is happening, the nonsense that's being poured into your brain starts to make sense. You start to hear them as words, like whatever this is has solved the language barrier problem and is speaking directly into your mind itself, filling you with all of this knowledge and information. I'm going to give you something to watch.
Videos.
So we in D&D chat or
Oh dear. It is too large to put in Discord.
Oh.
Oh no.
Did not consider this. Let me see if I can just share my screen and stream it then.
is it already on a hosting site, or were you like trying to put an MP3 directly into Discord?
It's going
The
to be
NP4, I think.
streaming on the... If anybody's watching the game stream, I'm going to put it up there now, but I'm going to just share my screen in Discord.
The first sentient life on Meridian was a race of beings known as the Sawagan. Existing at the nexus of planar intersections, the planet's inhabitants were given the power of first magic. Over a millennia, they mastered the elements, and were working on a grand spell of unification to
seeing that?
express this mastery of all 8 schools of magic. And they existed in relative harmony
Purple
in
Man.
island colonies around the
Purple
globe.
man. Purple man.
That all changed when
Everybody
3
good to go?
powerful beings,
Yeah.
not unlike
Yep.
gods,
Yep.
arrived in Meridian, fleeing their dying universe with an ark containing samples of all known life from their homeworlds.
Can't hear anything.
These beings were known as Umbrin the
Never mind.
Hungering Shadow,
I
Argenta
can hear
the
it.
White
It's a
Flame,
little quiet.
Yeah,
but-
we
and
know.
I had to
Tellus
turn the
the
volume up.
Unbroken. Meridian's connection to every plane and abundance of natural resources made it the perfect place for the gods to recreate their lost home by deploying the sacred ark that was in their charge. But in their attempt to do so, the gods encountered the Sahuagin, who were unwilling to relinquish or even share their world, and a terrible conflict arose. Tellus fell before the might of the Sahuagin, and in reprisal, the two remaining gods severed the native race from their connection to magic and sank their island strongholds beneath the waves. Unknown to the gods, this action had the unintended consequence of closing the gateways to the external planes they had traveled from, save some narrow areas where lingering influences remain. Using the last of their great power, the Sahuagin genetically modified a portion of their population to survive underwater so they might wait for a time to retake their world. Those who were not able to seek the refuge of the deep seas were killed. Believing they culled Meridian of its inhabitants, the remaining gods seeded the planet with all life as we now know it. And they, as well as time, forgot the Sahuagin. Prior to the devastation of their civilization, the crowning achievement of the Sahuagin race was the creation of the Amar Delon, or Unwritten Destiny. This powerful magical artifact alters reality itself and can make anything possible. The Amar Delon was hidden safely away in this ancient temple, a piece of their ancestral heritage meant for the Sahuagin race to one day recover. In the hands of a novice, the results of its use could be chaotic.
Bum bum bum.
Is that what we just found?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
The item next to the crystal is the ancient Sahuagin artifact known as the Amar Delon.
So the thing that's in my hand?
Yes, the thing that's in your hand.
Oh no.
Wait, so what does that artifact do exactly?
Everything. Or nothing.
Yeah, wasn't it it was main, from what I remember, it was it's meant to act as a focus to channel all 8 schools of magic into one area.
It
kinda
was
how I understood
the
it.
crowning achievement of their civilization, the full expression of their mastery of all 8 schools of magic.
So
It
try it.
was a reality-altering device, conceivably limited only by the imagination and history of the person wielding it.
So try, what you're telling me is they inadvertently casted Proctiv's Breach Crystal Sphere?
I don't know what that is.
Oh. It's a old D&D thing. So each of the planets have there's space, right? So each of the solar systems have in D&D have space, right, out in the in existence. But once you leave the solar system, there's this giant crystal sphere, and you can transfer between the two of them with these portal openings that open between the different crystal spheres. And Procta's Breach Crystal Sphere completely seals off a crystal sphere from the ability to be transversed by something called spell jamming ships. They're spaceships. They're D&D
Yeah.
spaceships.
I do like Spelljammer as a setting.
Yeah, it's from Spelljammer, but
Mhm.
that's guessing that's kind of the idea they did on accident.
I don't necessarily think that that's what you're saying is entirely true.
Okay. I was just kind of curious. I had just watched a video about it, and I was like 2 days ago when you said that, I'm like, huh, I think I know what spell got cast.
Like the nearest pop culture equivalent might be something like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Alexis has it in her hand?
Presently.
Oh no.
Fun fact, Alexis is not Thanos. I am not going to snap my fingers. I'm just kind of holding this
So
in my hand
can we-
and just kind
can
of
we-
looking
can
at
we
it and
just
wonder.
do, like, this thing can basically just like alter reality.
Let me.
If used properly.
I mean, if I were to cast Identify on it, would it say more on how to use it?
feel like if you cast Identify on it, it would laugh at you.
Oh man, I do like that response. I might just make that the way that it works.
Okay.
A otherworldly voice cacophonously laughs.
So why does the witch want it?
Seer.
The seer. Yeah, sorry. I
Wait,
defaulted
does the
to witch.
seer want it?
Well, the idea might be that's the case, mainly due to the fact that this belonged to that ancient race, and that the seer might think that they can undo what the three gods did. And don't you think that I didn't notice one of the names on those gods, by the way?
Yeah. Helos.
Hey,
No.
can we
No.
maybe use the orb to bring back
The other one.
our party member?
Zell, how do you feel about playing two characters?
I mean, you give us this ultra reality thing. Of course, the first thing I'm going to be like, hey, can we bring back our best teammate?
That
Can we bring back our best teammate? I love it. Get fucked by
Yeah.
everybody else.
I mean, the person who like tanked the most stuff and healed me the most
Dear
was
DM
the guy
gods,
who
we only
died.
had one good guy, and he's gone now.
That's including myself. He was way better than me.
All right. You can contemplate how or if you ever want to touch that. As soon as the green crystal that Alexis drew from the chamber like exploded all of that information into your mind, it becomes dust and washes away, leaving you guys as like the last receptacles of that knowledge and information. All that's left in your hand is the Amar Dalan, and that low pulsing tone happens again, only this time the pulses are far more distant, and once you guys gather your thoughts, you realize that you're standing in ankle-deep water.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Let's get out
so
of here.
I quickly put this thing into my pack because it's important, and we need to leave.
This is why I
Time to
wish
go.
Kig was here.
Time to go. You're all waiting. I'm swimming.
Yeah, I'm get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back to the elevator shaft.
Yep.
For the very reasonable, done in a single breath swim to the surface.
Yes.
Did I do better than
Yes.
Well, we hope.
We
It's
hope.
very reasonable.
Go ahead.
I was
Zach.
going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was under the impression that we were coming down here for something that we needed, not that something that she wanted. Was I mistaken?
Well, we
Oh
need
no,
this
the
now.
seer was just like, hey, you guys should go explore there, because there's something powerful down there.
She did the only direction that she gave any of you, to my knowledge, and I'm her, is that everyone who washes up on the shores of exile was brought here to serve a purpose. That no one escapes their destiny, and that she merely guides people along their path.
Okay.
So she may very well have known what was down here, not her journey to take.
And not her orb to take either. Moving
Indeed.
on.
You get to the mine shaft. Some of you are swimming far more gracefully than the others. Some people are dog paddling. You get out of that elevator shaft, and you notice that the water level has risen here. The shields that were holding back the ocean are failing all over the place. It is going to take a mad dash to make it back to the rope that you guys dangle down this hallway quickly. I'd like to enter into a small skill challenge here. We've done 3 of these, I think, in the campaign. One of them was a disastrous failure, and 2 of them were quite good. But I'd like each of you to think of a way that your character can help get everybody out of a collapsing underwater structure quickly. We'll come up with what kind of roll that looks like, and then we're going to try to achieve a certain number of successes before we hit a crippling number of failures.
Collapsing or flooding? Or
Both. You know, it's sat here underwater for God knows how many thousands of years. Its structure, probably without the benefit of the force field, can no longer support all of the pressure outside. So it's both going to flood and break apart, I imagine.
So, just confirm for me where we are here real quick. We're swimming up the elevator shaft, or we're in the room where
You were
we
in the
fought
room where you fought those 2 sentinels.
Okay.
Just
can
outside
make-
of the gate.
One person fly.
You're
Well, that's
there-ish.
nifty.
If you can make one person fly, I feel like I would be strong enough to maybe carry everybody.
Okay. I'm going to cast fly on Leo.
Okay. I'll mark that down as a success.
I'm going to attempt, I don't know, maybe tie a rope to everybody and then try to fly out of there with people.
If your attempt is going to be to try to fly out with the other 5 people in tow, I'm going to need a strength check with disadvantage. And
Okay.
It is not going to be a simple task.
For what it's worth, Try, I am technically a druid, and while Marius hates doing this, he will take the form of a bird.
Nice.
So it's 4
I
people.
did not mean to
Like-
do that. Ignore that.
Like freaking distaste of, ugh, this is below me, but I don't want to die.
I always forget. Does my giant potion, does that make me twice as strong as well?
It gives you advantage on strength checks.
Okay. I have 1 potion left. Can I pop that as well?
Yeah,
Sure,
that'll
get rid of the
negate the
disadvantage?
disadvantage. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll use that. So Giant Leo's going to try to fly 4 people out. And here comes the strength. Right now.
At disadvantage?
No.
No,
It's
disadvantage is canceled by. Oh, there it is. I didn't see it. 17. You're able to grab 3 people as you get 3 people off the ground, flying with this magical, unseeable force propelling you forward. Your arms are the first thing to give out. The magic is willing to carry you aloft, but you just can't bear the weight of everybody that's on that line. You are very confident that if even just one person were to let go and figure it out on their own, you could ascend with everyone else. But even your impressive Herculean strength can't bear
I'm gonna
3
look at the
additional
monks.
passenger.
And ask the monks if they can take the way up with their
Yep.
amazing agility.
Yes.
Yep.
You asked the monks if what?
I've already let my rope go and I'm on the ground,
Okay.
back in the main
That's
room.
a
So I guess
no.
I'm taking up Alexis and Kel.
You Superman it, like literally just one hand on your hip, one arm straight up. Just fly with them in tow all the way up the chasm into the Chimera Cave. Jezza, what do you want to do? You look as Marius is cursing in Elvish, and his skin slowly starts to sprout feathers until he's just a flapping winged mess, still kind of like spitting on the ground as it takes flight to follow behind the aloft dwarf. You're the last one in the hole.
Okay. Did Reed go as well? So I'm the only one down here?
I believe he's still on the line, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in the main chamber. Like above us is the hole in the ground, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And there is a rope coming down from that?
There is.
All right. Dome room. I mean, I guess I'm going to invoke Occam's razor here. I guess I just start climbing really fast.
Isn't there a rope there?
There is, yep.
Yeah, like that's
That's
what I
what he's
mean. I'm
climbing,
just going to
yeah.
climb
Okay.
the rope really fast
Hell yeah.
because I'm also light and easy to pull up.
I will give you 2 options, and you can pick. You can move at 1/2 normal speed with an athletics check that the rope makes super easy. You'll be making that check with advantage. Or you can use your monk-like agility and kind of just vault, 10 feet at a time, just grabbing the surefire hand and footholds that is the rope, moving at full speed, but you'll have to make that check with just a normal roll instead of advantage with the athletics.
It
You'll
wouldn't
move
be
faster, but
acrobatics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, acrobatics for
Okay.
vaulting and using the surefire hand and footholds of the rope.
I will do the. Here's a question: if I was to use a key point to use Step of the Wind to double my my jump, and your jump distance doubled, would that affect it?
Yes, you would just move farther each jump,
Would
essentially being faster.
yeah. would that just play as like I would have to make less rolls in your mind, or would that count as advantage to succeed the roll overall?
I'm going to say that it would get you out of there faster, so that if I have to roll against the water, you're not going to get swallowed.
Okay, I'm going to use 1 key point to activate Step of the Wind, and I'm going to start doing normal rolls with acrobatics to start vaulting up the rope.
Okay.
That's exactly what Reed was thinking. I was thinking for Reed.
So do that now, I'm guessing?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Good, guys.
Did
That's
I,
4 successes. Go
follow
ahead, Reed.
suit?
You can. Sure, absolutely.
All right. Oh, well, no, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Oh,
We
Either
got
way, it
one,
sucks.
boys.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
I thought.
no.
Wait, no. Wasn't Reed up with the rest of the people?
It is on.
No, I can only carry
I
two.
thought I was on the rope.
Oh. Oh, you
He's
could only
got-
carry 2. Okay.
Well, he's also got Kig. Kig was down there technically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
I have 2 conscience people and 1.
Alexis, Kel, and Kig.
Ig is in the pocket dimension. He's in hammer space.
Nice.
He's in hammer space.
Stop. Hammer space. Well, Reed,
Yep. What's up?
you follow Jez's example, who scurries. You have an almost racist thought that she moves like a monkey, like just a spider monkey climbing up that, and you're like, ooh, wait a minute, is that racist? I'm not sure. I'll have to apologize to her when I get up. And that's when you realize that a wall of water is now rushing down this corridor, completely swallowing what's left of that green lichen that covered the ground like a carpet. And you have just 1 second, and you leap as high as you can and grab the rope. You are not immediately swept up by the tidal wave of pressurized ocean that's now flooding in, but quickly the ocean is now rising up this hole towards the Chimera Cave, and you're hand over hand trying to vault off of the walls of the cave to get yourself even further to outpace the water. And unfortunately, your grip fails you, and you slip, falling backwards into the torrent of ocean. Once you get splashed in, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to call it a reflex again, and I apologize. Dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
Damn.
Where was that roll a moment ago?
Not where I wanted it to be.
You take 12 points of damage as the force is basically just like knocking you around like Blender, the stony walls of this column. Eventually you get your head above water, and the speed that it's rising starts to kind of normalize. You realize that eventually the seawater won't rise above the level of the ocean, so you're thinking you probably have outpaced that, and you're able to just kind of carefully, hand over hand, climb the rest of the way up out of the cave. You're the last one out. You look like a drowned rat. Everyone else is just kind of sitting there waiting for you.
That's
It's
why I
more
didn't
embarrassing
take the
than it is
stairs.
painful. Nice. You guys find yourself in the Chimera Cave. Deep beneath you, you can feel the ground rumbling as the last protected pockets of air collapse under the external pressure of that much ocean water. But you seem safe here in the Chimera's cave.
Well, we
Hoot.
And Marius
Leave?
just flies out.
I'm
I
sorry.
guess.
Yeah, leave,
We
yes.
did it.
yeah. So let's
Huzzah.
go back to the seer now, because I don't think there's anything else in this cave.
I don't think there's anything we could find anyway.
Did we leave the Chimera baby with the seer?
We did.
She-
Yes, we did.
Well,
Yeah, he's back
Outside
on the
of the hut,
beach,
yeah.
napping in his little nest. I made him a nest out of all the scrounged hay and straw that I could find.
cool. We head back to the beachside villa of Ira. She's just serving some lunch. Looks like maybe some kind of gathered crab meats for the crew, and asks if you had a fruitful
Suppose a word for it.
Fruitful endeavor is what you said. You kind of cut off. Try.
Yes.
I'm a little wet.
She said, and that's why I tell you to always bring a towel.
It's true.
Nice reference.
I look at Alexis. Did she say that? Did she? I don't. Okay, I think she said that.
She definitely said that.
She seems like she knows what's happened, but that could just be the guise that someone like this tends to keep up. She asks if you've learned what you were sent here to learn.
I'll
Yes.
say.
And did you recover what you were sent here to recover?
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe. Boyd, you gotta go back down in that hole?
No.
She just goes back to feeding the crew members, your friends and compatriots. She seems to care very little for whether or not you have it or what it is. Maybe because she already knows, or maybe because she knows that's not really her portion of this particular journey. She tells you that the ship is nearly repaired. Very shortly, within the next few days, it could be seaworthy. She asks if you've given any thought to where your next step is.
So one of the things that we memorized, was it a map of the globe?
I don't specifically remember furnishing you with that, but that seems like it would be pretty accessible knowledge.
So more specifically, the previous locations of all of the Sahagin places.
Those are not known. They
we still-
just kind of more like fairy tales. They wouldn't appear on any map that you would have access to.
No. What I'm talking about is the blip of knowledge we got.
Oh! No. It didn't have a map in it. Sorry. I thought you were talking about like just over the course of your studies at the Athenaeum. Did you find
No, I'm talking about the magical, just shove your brain with knowledge.
Quickly recalling here on the beach, you don't remember seeing or hearing anything about a map.
Hmm.
I think the prudent thing is to take that immensely powerful object to the Queen.
Yes.
Probably.
I don't know if we should trust anybody with an immensely powerful magical object to begin with.
I mean,
Allow me to restate that. I'm only keeping you lot alive so that you can get me to the Queen. So we should go to the Queen.
I hear good things about the Queen.
I mean,
see.
she was pretty nice last time we went and saw her, so
Oh, I
I'm down.
totally trust the Queen. I don't
Let's
trust
go see the
everybody
Queen.
around the Queen.
let's go see the Queen and have a private audience with her.
There you go. Thank you.
Overhearing your conversation on the beach, Ira says that if what you have was intended for the Queen would be here and not you. Just my thoughts. And she goes back to serving the crew members crab stew.
Hey, what if we used the thing to make the army go away? The threat.
I don't think we're powerful enough to use a item of that caliber for that kind of activity, my friend.
You
What
might
if we
not be.
tried? What if
I
we
don't
tried?
think
You
any
should
of.
just-
And then I very tertly reiterate. I don't think any of us are powerful enough to use that item for what you intended to be.
I look at Alexis. Is that a challenge? I kind of.
You don't even know how to use magic.
It's never stopped her from being able to push buttons.
Could we just ask her if she can direct us with this device?
Are you asking me or are you asking the other players? I'm sorry.
Our team,
Okay.
my comrades.
I mean, could the orb take us to where we want to go?
I mean, your
I don't-
understanding of the information that was disseminated to you rather violently was that it is conceivably a power without limit or bounds.
Hey, we should use the orb to power up and then go where we need to go.
Yeah, I'd like to gain 5 levels.
I mean,
Suddenly
unlimited
our enemies
power.
are 5 levels stronger than us.
Yes, the entire world gained 5 levels. No, but that leaves me relatively in the exact same position.
Yeah, but my action economy is way better now.
I don't. As a player, I legitimately don't know. I don't know what
Hey.
the next step should be. I don't think.
Hey, Try.
Sir.
Do we have a little bit of downtime?
You have at least 2 days until the ship is seaworthy.
I'm gonna spend some gold and learn comprehend languages as a spell.
Okay. There's no reason or no need to make a decision right now. Do you guys want to take them, have some dinner, recuperate, regain spell slots and hit points, and figure out tomorrow what your next steps look like?
Sounds good to me.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let the narrative force our way.
Then everybody retires to their luxurious beachside sleeping bags. Do you want to do anything with the Chimera pup? It's now awake and kind of,
Hey,
you know,
hey, why don't you
antsy.
guys use the orb to like make it fully trained
Or fully grown?
or fully grown?
None of these
No.
ideas. None of these.
No.
These are all
None of these
bad ideas.
ideas. None of these ideas have been good for the orb, and I still hold on to the orb until a better idea is put forth.
Why is the orb a one time? Is it a one shot? I don't think
We don't know that, do we?
We don't
Which is
know
why I hold on to it.
enough about the orb.
It's definitely.
Which is
not
why
a
we don't
one-shot.
use the orb, because if we use the orb, we may lose the orb. I'd rather not that happen.
Yeah. I ask Ira for a water skin with sheep's milk, and I'm gonna go feed the little guy.
Hell would like to hang out with you and the Chimera pup and also spend time with it. And
Read
maybe-
mostly with the Chimera pup too.
I'm with my pack, and I am reading books
Okay.
somewhere.
She agrees to give you the milk, but says that it doesn't take a seer to understand how this story ends. Are you sure you're prepared to read the book?
What book?
She's talking to the 3 people who are going to go play with the Chimera pup, insinuating that you feed the Chimera, it gets big, the big Chimera gets hungry, the big Chimera eats you, or you kill it.
I whisper to the seer, you remember I'm a necromancer, right?
I'm an excellent trainer eventually.
I point at Kill and I go, no.
I like animals.
Look at
I
how
don't
well
want them
trained
to
my
die.
cat is.
Yeah.
My cat is actually very well trained
Yeah.
and is not undead.
Just bolstering your point.
I say to Ira is that, according to your book, this book that you mentioned, goblins are supposed to be cave-dwelling gremlins who only appreciate shiny things, and yet here I am talking to you with a bag of milk. And I take the milk and I want to go hang out with the Chimera puppy.
Okay.
Is it a puppy?
I'm gonna call it a pup. I don't really know.
Okay. Pup. Yeah.
It's-
Spawnling.
well,
No.
isn't one of the heads a kid? I mean,
So it wouldn't be
yeah,
a chimera kitten?
kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lion cub, I guess, would be,
A chimera.
or
Yeah.
a goat kid, or a dragon whelpling. So you can choose
So
kid, pup,
kidling.
or kid cub, or whelpling.
A kidling.
Cubling. The young chimera cubling.
A kiddenling.
So I also don't want to be that guy. Is it time now, Try? Is that the end of the sesh?
No. I just wanted to give. There are a few things that I wanted to get to that required a long rest. So this gives you guys all of your tools back. It gave everybody a chance to think about what they wanted to do. Alexis is reading books. You guys are playing with the pups, or the pup. While you have been interacting with it, I've been asking for animal handling. I'd like another one now.
Okay. Where did my character sheet go? There it is. Okay.
Excellent.
Animal handling.
Initially,
Jesus.
it seems it has, how do I put this? It has initially established a rapport with Jezza, maybe because of her small size, it seems more approachable. The three of you suddenly like swarming in around it seems to have, made it a little fussy or a little skittish, perhaps. And Jezza, initially the cub won't take the milk. It takes a lot of coaxing to get it to come back to the coconut husk bed that you've made it and drink the milk. But you can't help but feel like this was a step backwards in your relationship.
But wait, I rolled so well.
Reed, as you pet it, it does seem to respond well to you. Two heads seem to like you quite a bit, with the red dragon whelpling head having no interest in your like doting affection. Reed's getting a lot of positive response with like kind of baby talk and coochie coos under the chin and behind the ears from the lion head and the goat head, but the dragon head is just aloof and will not engage with you at all. Kel, you have the opposite experience. The lion's head seems to instinctively kind of follow you around, maybe because it can smell the magic on you, whereas as the other two animal heads seem to basically want to avoid you. It's like, animal's natural aversion to death.
It's fair. I feed the lion head then. Puppy.
Boy, it sure is a shame that you guys don't have any druids in the party that could handle animals.
Oh man,
That is
it's almost
that
like
is-
we
Yeah.
have a druid in the party. I could handle
Yeah.
animals.
Too bad we trust you as far as I can throw you.
In a couple of weeks, maybe we trust you as much as Leo can throw. But we're not there yet.
It's doubly a shame that
I'm sorry.
druid doesn't
What
have
just happened? I zoned out for a second.
a charm animal spell.
Yeah, what kind of druid are you?
That's very
A
kind.
multi-talented one.
Hey,
All right.
Saventus.
Yeah.
This is slightly off topic. The official benchmark trailer is being released. Continue.
Okay, cool. Anyways, try.
Yes, sir. I need to find what I wrote down for this.
Can I guess, observing that the Chimera is not wanting to take the milk from Jezza, just kind of assist and help coax them into accepting Jezza's proffered gift of food.
I think we can roll that in as the three of those rolls as you guys collectively, my three dads, getting her to eventually eat.
Yay!
Wait, did you guys decide on which of you gets which head?
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not just a question you can ask someone,
It's
Fobar.
three dads. It's three dads, and the child has three heads. So which one
Oh,
is raising which one?
Well, I guess I get the lion one,
Okay.
which seems about right given my character.
Who's getting the dragon head and who's getting the goat head?
Reed's really determined to get the dragon head's attention, but is having no luck, apparently. So,
Yeah.
I guess goat head for Reed.
Moving past this topic, like we could just divide somehow.
It's very important. I just want to know who's raising who.
Uh-huh.
So when
I'm
something
glad
when something happens, I know who to blame.
Yep. The Chimera ate villagers again.
Jezza,
Well,
which head-
Jezza's the
one
one
did
to
it.
blame.
Yeah.
Which head was it? It was the dragon. God damn it.
Kel wants to spend 150 gold from the group fund to learn water breathing. Let's vote on that. All in favor, yay. All opposed, nay.
Yay.
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 Yeah.
Yay?
All right, the motion carries. Everybody sleeps for the evening. It's not a terribly restful sleep. I think every one of you probably feels a little bit anxious. You've overcome a lot you've gained so much knowledge and strength, just in the last couple of days here on exile. But you know that there's so much that lays before you, so much of the future is unknown to you that no one really sleeps very well. It's the first night here where you haven't really slept well or peacefully. The morning comes all too soon. It's very red sky first thing in the morning. As you wake, Kel, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Ooh.
Do the thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot. Did any of us react to Kel having just a green head now?
Nah.
It's pretty normal. Okay.
It's basically the same thing that happened yesterday morning. Do you want me to narrate that for you privately or publicly?
Privately, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's go D&D.
I agree. Let's go D&D.
Nice.
That's not privately.
So yeah, LA is kind of nice.
Yeah, I've only been there once.
Tomorrow the plan is nothing but escape rooms and celebrity chef restaurants.
Oh, that sounds pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to an escape room.
Do it. Go with him.
We got you should go to an escape room, and also, if you can get to LA by tomorrow morning.
No, I'm not making that drive. Sorry.
I mean, that's what, a 6-hour drive? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No idea. I almost asked Try if those two lived anywhere nearby, and then I remembered it was North Cal.
Yeah, so I think it was, who was it talking? I was just talking with Zeph about it, and he was explaining how he drove from Southern California to Northern California, and it took him 14 hours, and I was like, that's the same amount of time it took me to go through 5 states on the East Coast.
Mm.
So Ventus, I think they just showed the limit break.
It's crazy.
What are you
Yeah,
guys talking about? Sorry.
Probably has something to do with Final Fantasy 14.
Definitely has something to do with Final Fantasy 14.
Well,
Yeah.
what
I read
Lavin
the
said
absolute
to do.
best game comment today while I was trying to do my Core Theodalies before D&D. Somebody was asking for coordinates for Miley, and there was a lot of she's broken. Read the Wowhead comment. She doesn't appear anymore. But one person, my favorite comment of the day was, "I read she went to go play Final Fantasy 14." Just
That's a pretty
very
good
on
one.
the nose. Yeah. All right. Everybody wakes a little bit restless, a little bit unsure of themselves. You all sort of convene for breakfast. Kel is the last one to join you. Having taken the evening, having had a fitful night of sleep, does anybody have any thoughts on what they want to do next?
I would like to go to the Queen.
That sounds right. So that's one vote for return to Pendilor. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Reed says that he thinks our journey lies elsewhere still.
I think we should push forward. I want to see Atlantis, and then
I think
people will look at me and be like, "What the fuck what is she talking about, Atlantis?" And she's like, "Nothing."
I think we should squeeze the almighty gauntlet of power that's an orb.
I
And
think
think
that's
about
a bad idea.
and think about, I don't know, killing a whole sea army.
I think this is a bad idea, and I continue saying this is a bad idea, and I ignore the idea.
But I mean, you can't know what something does without turning it on once. There's
It's true.
just no way to know.
It's true. I think we should use it.
Can I use an Arcana check to inspect it a little bit more thoroughly?
Yeah. Yes. As long as Alexis relinquishes it, or we get into more PvP action, which I really don't want to happen.
I don't want to do that. Alexis, can I look at this thing, please?
Can we use it to revive the
We go into I'm gonna kind of motion at you and away from the party, specifically Leo, who wants to apparently do massive genocide, and then I let you look at it.
It's not genocide if they're already evil.
I'm not
That
sure that's true.
is inaccurate.
Aren't the did I misunderstand? But are these like sea creatures the remnants of this race?
Yep.
That's the absolute inference. Yep.
So
Yeah.
aren't they just waiting to be saved?
Well, they
That
are
is
also
not
trying to murder you and eradicate your species from the surface.
that is not the implication here.
Also, feel free to approach them and tell them that they are being saved and they should thank you.
Well, that's clearly the goal. Hi. Come to our churches. We're here to save you.
Do you have
That
time to
would
talk
have
about our
well.
Lord and Savior, RN Jesus? Okay, Kel, you carefully inspect the orb, as your guided mind rapey tour suggests. It emanates power from all 8 schools of magic, but in a cohesive way that almost makes them seem like one unified spell school. You're not ashamed to admit that it is a bit beyond your understanding to say that you get how this works, but it's like 8 discrete pieces that form one, integral unit, one thing that acts together as one. It's powerful, it's awe-inspiring, and you have absolutely no idea how they did it.
Well, that's terrifying.
Then I put it back in my bag.
I
There does seem to be, like, not a button, but an activation rune, like right along the equator of the sphere.
like a Pokeball?
Sure, yeah. Like in crude terms, that's a great analogy.
I do not change my action.
I don't want to press the button.
It's just why I put it back in my bag.
Press the button. Let's
Uh,
just use it for good. Like, I don't know, bring Opie back to life.
I mean, that would be a pretty good action. I
mean,
I
Worst
think
case scenario is he no longer exists, and it doesn't matter because he's already dead.
okay,
Best case scenario, he's alive.
Leo. Let's hold on to this for now until we
What's up?
think that we
Sorry,
really need it.
back for a second.
That's the
Also,
idea.
Reed pops up with the question, are we sure this is a multiple use item or are we only going to get one chance at whatever we do with this?
Can we talk to the seer about it some more?
You could certainly try.
Yeah, let's do that. Of like, what should we do with this? Or like, should we use this? Or should we save it for later? Or will we know when we need to use it?
I feel like our answer is gonna be yes.
God, those are the questions I wish I could have thought of, and I was trying to conceptualize them, and they were not happening.
It's
Thank
fine.
you
I got
for
I got
existing.
you, buddy.
Ask me them one at a time again. I'm so sorry.
They're out of my brain now. I can't say them again.
Oh no! Just talking with the seer then over breakfast, she doesn't know much about it, or when she says that, you are able to kind of infer that maybe she doesn't want to share as much, or doesn't feel like it's her position to share more than some superficial discussion with you about it.
Okay.
But she says that she is aware of its power in the past, that she has once seen its true potential in the hands of someone who knew how to operate it, and in that moment its power was beyond the infinite.
Okay. I think that like the quintessential question that I was trying to ask is should we use it? Should we wait to use it until we know that the time is right? Or like will we know when we should use it?
She says it's hard to know because the skill in using the orb only came to the people who created it through great practice and study. If you wait to use it until you need it, you may not have the proficiency to use it well. That being said, using it without skill could invite calamity.
So then try something small or small-ish, like you said with Opie.
Or even
That's-
smaller. Let's try to turn sand into glass.
Reviving some of the dead is not a small task.
Well, okay.
It's so easy,
I
then you
mean,
do it.
small
Or-
scale
That's at least a
versus.
seventh level
hey,
spell.
hey, I'm just saying. Maybe not Opie. Maybe the guy that could steer a ship.
Yeah. Let's.
He's kind of half there, so that might work.
I actually wanted. I've been having an idea on this that I want to try what happens when I use it as a focus to cast a like cantrip or a level 1 spell, and just see how that interacts.
The Amardalon is not your ritual focus or your spellcasting focus, but if you are just to hold it in your hand while you're casting a cantrip spell, the sigils that wrap around its surface that are associated with the school of magic from that cantrip like faintly glow, almost like in recognition of the energy that's being cast by you.
Hmm.
So the sphere seems to kind of just be always on.
Okay.
It's at least in somehow interacting with the world around it.
Interesting.
Push.
Has anyone thought about like thinking about something while holding it and see if it happens? Sort of like the Infinity Gauntlet.
Fine. I think I grab it and I think of French toast.
Holding it in your hand and thinking of French toast, there's a moment, Alexis, where time around you dilates. The wind in the trees suddenly stops. Everyone else's mouth is agape mid-sentence, and like you can see the gulls in the bay barely slowly flapping their wings for a second, and the only sense that you have is a deep, palpable, mouth-watering aroma of very rich, very sugary, hot French toast. It's causing your salivatory glands to like overreact. It makes your stomach pang with hunger. It's so real and so palpable. As you look down at the device in your hand, the Amardalon's runes have shifted. Everything around the sphere has gone away, save for one glowing rune that looks a little bit kind of like the pi symbol.
Now I'm hungry. I
That's
just
the
say now
rune.
I'm hungry.
So once again, Leo's the wisest man in the building. Thinking about stuff.
After a few seconds, Alexis, everything goes back to normal. The Amardalon's rune button disappears back into the form it looks like it does before, this kind of static, geometric sphere that vaguely resembles kind of a planetoid shape with 8 spell casting schools wrapped around its outer circumference and a small button at its equator. Time resumes normal and you no longer smell French toast.
You have a stroke?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Given the knowledge of that, I would actually like to try and revive the captain with the sphere.
I hand it over reluctantly.
Okay.
Kind of like Golem, I guess. Not really.
Holding the sphere, I think about reviving the captain.
Give me one moment.
Hey man, the seer told me a thing that I didn't share with any of you, but this seems pertinent.
Uh-oh.
It's something the skull told you, isn't it?
Kill them all.
I'm gonna talk to you about that skull later, Leo.
Okay.
Only Leo?
Leo is the only person in the party that I even vaguely trust as Kel.
Boom.
I'm
the fuck?
vaguely trusted. Mic drop.
You don't even trust Alexis? Come on, what has Alexis done except for pull a random lever?
And like Leo and I have been around each other for years.
We've been
I'm
traveling a
aware.
while, you know.
All right. So I want to go through this so that I don't step on anybody's toes and I don't misinterpret.
Yeah.
Kel is holding the Amar Dalon.
Mhm.
Kel is visualizing resurrecting the captain and restoring him to life.
Yeah.
And is going to press the activation rune when it appears, if it appears.
That is correct.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I don't
Man,
like
I hope
this
this
idea.
doesn't backfire.
I think it's already backfired.
It probably has.
The Okay, and Mari attacks with the Yes, excellent. Push that button.
Everyone, stand
Wait,
the
were you-
fuck back for a bit.
Were you 20 feet away a moment ago?
I tell everyone to like stand at least 20 to 30 feet back while I do this in case I just kill myself by accident.
Arcane distancing.
Nice. All right, give me 1 second to be ready here.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
At the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see a new macro button called Amar Dalon.
I do not.
I do not.
I do not.
I do not.
At the bottom of my screen, I see a yacht.
I'm on a boat.
I'm on a
Uh,
boat.
Let me see.
I see crit hit.
Should I
fumble
refresh?
roll.
I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah,
I'll refresh.
refresh because it's shown as a token action and available to all players.
Nope.
No.
Why
Nope.
not?
Oh, you
Um,
gotta wait. Hold on. You gotta go into the collection and add it to your bar.
Oh, right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. Go to the hamburger in the upper right-hand corner, the second one in from the spoke.
I pressed the button. I should not have pressed the button.
Yes.
Ignore that.
Okay.
Is that chaos control?
Oh no!
Fuck me.
Okay.
Press the button.
Okay, so I see a Mardalon. Or wait, I'm not in the right spot, am I?
I see it now too.
There we go, in bar. Okay, I have it now.
Well,
So
shit.
what you're telling me is I had very chaotic French toast.
Yeah, you had some chaotic French toast. Feisty, was that you adjusting the macro, or was that your role as Kel?
That is my
Activating
role
your
as
macro?
Cal.
Okay. You
I don't. Is there a way for me to adjust anything? The macro?
no.
Okay.
You have the same like experience that Alexis did. Time slows down for you, almost ceasing. You can see in your mind's eye the captain laying there, trapped somewhere between life and death. You visualize, not just your own power to reanimate the dead, but, other people's powers to truly restore life to something that is dead. And the solution to your problem is somewhere between those two worlds. You focus very, very hard on it. And all of the other runes on the sphere in your hand melt away, leaving one singular glowing rune. This is the activation button. You gently press it, and a surge of searing power washes through your body. Your blood feels like it's boiling and on fire. You are on the verge of passing out from extreme pain. The veins constrict throughout your arm where you're holding the Amar Dalon. You're shaking violently and uncontrollably. Your teeth are clenching so hard you almost crack them. And then a series of chaotic runes just race across the Amar Dalon faster than you can see. Words being spoken in your mind's eye that you can't understand. Something it is utterly confusing and so chaotic, you lose sight of what you were trying to focus on. And then suddenly there's a clarion bell tolling, a sound that just washes all of the chaos and noise away. The pain instantly diminishes, and suddenly you feel a soft breeze on your face, and time has resumed. You have created a geometric pattern in the sand where you were standing, but otherwise nothing has changed.
And it's is the geometric pattern in any way relevant or something I've seen before?
It looks a lot like the drawings, the scrawl work that was in the temple where you recovered the sphere. It's certainly of the Sogwin people, but if it's significant or not, you don't know.
Would it be something
Okay.
that can be read?
It is possible.
Could it be read if I cast Comprehend Languages?
Oh, that might work.
Okay, I'm gonna ritual cast that. And then try to read it.
Have we considered putting the captain in the pentagram?
I
I
will in a
didn't say
second.
pentagram. You cast the spell. The geometric shape that was left in the sand is less a shape and more like a story. You also notice that as you cast this spell, just below the palm on your right hand, so basically right at the wrist joint, a very, very small version of this geometric pattern it has been burned into your skin, about the size of a postage stamp, like a perfect tattoo of this geometric pattern. And as you read it, air quotes, through comprehend language, this is a power that has been granted to you by the powers of the Amar Dalan. You have been granted the power of infusion, which you understand through the text that you're reading, that you only need to imbibe half of a potion to gain the full effects of that potion.
Huh. Not what I was going for, but that's
Not even a
cool.
little bit.
How do
I
I
want to push the
mark
button
that?
next.
You can just write it down in character notes in Fusion, and then I'll remember what that means because I have it here. But if you want to notate that that only means you have to drink half a potion, you're essentially
Um,
like an alchemist.
I'll put in features and traits.
Yeah, perfect. The only thing of note that happens after that is as you stare back down at the Amar Dalan, it appears to no longer be active. It appears to be dormant. It feels heavy more than it was before. There are no runes that trace across its surface, and if you stare at it concentrating, it doesn't interact with you at all.
Okay. And then I'm like, put my hands out so I can catch it. So I want to hold it. Considering I had it first, I might as well be the one that carries it around, right?
Fair.
I don't know. You like
Then
to
I put
steal
it.
things off of
I'm
the
gonna put
magical
it in
items.
my bag. Okay. God damn it.
Is it really a D&D session unless I bring that up?
Apparently not.
I have a feeling that we should probably let the dead die. I guess.
Ouch.
Ouch.
So the dormant Amar Dalan is returned to Alexis, who puts it greedily back in her knapsack.
Not greedily.
My precious.
Does it seem to come back to life in her hands, or
It does not.
I bet it's like a 2 charges a day sort of thing, maybe.
Maybe.
Um,
Or maybe it needs to be charged.
hey, try.
Sir.
Can you share Helm of the Silent Mind with Leo? Just to like,
I can try.
And before we all get it. No.
We're doing what now?
You're about to see a thing that no
Okay.
one else can see.
Did I
Yes.
successfully share it with just you before?
think so.
Okay, then I think this might work.
If not, everyone close your eyes.
I'm not beyond that. What? Oh, there he is. I can't find Leo.
Leo's an enigma.
Okay.
I'm just very short, okay?
Here goes nothing.
it's cool if everyone sees it, but like it meant just for Leo.
I see a thing.
Did anybody else see a thing?
I did not see
No.
a thing.
Nope.
Should
I
Okay.
just
saw a
be,
thing again.
yeah, it should just be Leo and Kel. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So
Bless you.
That's twice.
Kel will be
Hello.
sharing the details of this helm with Leo, and I will share with Leo what happened this morning a little bit later and probably just whisper him.
Okay. The seer comes down to the beach shortly after the activation of the magic device and looks around almost like a school teacher doing a head count. And she just smiles and says, "Oh, all still here and accounted for. How lovely."
I just kind of give her a look.
Interesting.
She says that she's going to prepare an offering for Valkyr and asks if anyone wants to pray.
Leo's gonna come with her.
She says, "Great, you can help me carry the supplies," and points to a very large knapsack that's already been prepped with shoulder straps that were designed to fit you.
Awesome.
Reed will come.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
I'll also
Uh,
come too.
Okay.
Well, fuck if everybody's going, and it's just I'm walking along reading a book.
Jezza, do you want to follow the group or do you want to stay behind on the beach?
I am actually going to stay behind on the beach.
Okay. Um, Actually, while they're going off then to help her create the offering to Valkyr, do you want to interact with the Manticore pup this morning?
Yes, I do.
This is the first time you've had like a full, I don't have to immediately go out off on an adventure or there's not like impending doom. You notice that this morning the pup seems unusually sort of active and playful, like it has energy, right? For the first time since we'll call it acquired it.
Yeah.
It seems very playful and energetic, and you're not entirely sure what to do with that.
Looking around, I look for a full coconut, an unbroken coconut.
Easily found.
I would like to start like tossing it back and forth between my hands, and then kind of like drop it, like rest it on my foot, and then start doing like this, kind of like those professional soccer players, like bouncing the ball around their
Mhm.
foot type thing,
Sure.
and just see if I could start grab its attention.
The all three heads working in perfect unison are tracking its motion, while its tail just is up behind its head, flittering back and forth like a metronome. You get the impression it's like waiting for that opportune moment to pounce you, or the ball, or something.
I hope
But
it's
it's
a ball.
all three heads are just, for the first time you have a sense that, oh right, this is an apex predator.
Yeah. As it's kind of tracking, I stop it on my foot, like I just hold it there for a second, and then I kick it like up and like kind of towards the dragon head, like in that, not at it, but like in that direction above it to try and get it to like spin.
hmm
And I just want to see if it will run after it and what it'll do.
The whole body flattens low, almost like it was startled. The coconut sails over its head, but it immediately turns on its haunches and chases down the coconut. The dragon's head is the first to get it and like distends its lower jaw just enough to get the whole coconut just wedged between the front teeth of this very small infantile dragon's mouth. And it tries to crack it open but doesn't have the strength to do so.
Okay. I run over, and I approach it from the front so it sees me, and I try to take it from the dragon's head.
It ends up wanting to pull it away from you. Not violently, but maybe more like a let's
Like
play some
tug.
tugs. Yeah.
Okay. Is that what would be the roll to try and get it back?
So here's the thing: if you want to, if your goal is just to strip it away, it's just a strength check. If you want to try to play with him, then it's animal handling.
It would be animal handling again. God damn
Okay.
it. Okay, here we go. Please suck. Oh, I should be at full HP. Is that right now? Animal handling. Also, I'm on me.
It relative to you, it's actually quite large for a child, and you are playfully trying to get it to surrender the coconut. But about halfway through your wrestling match, you realize that you're not even sure you could take it forcefully if you wanted to, um, without hurting the small creature. It's quite strong for an infant. But you guys are having a blast. It seems to be enjoying itself. Even the red-headed dragon, which has so far been the sourest of the three heads, seems to be having fun playing this game.
Yeah. All right. How much time did you have to end early? Did I misread your message, or did you have to end early, or am I taking
I
too much?
want no, I'd like to get to the other group. I do want to try to wrap this up pretty
Okay.
quick here, just because I've got an early morning tomorrow and I didn't
Go
get enough
ahead.
sleep last night.
We'll
Uh,
call that there then.
Cool,
Go for the
excellent.
other group.
Yeah, I am tracking this. This was a good play session. It didn't get startled. It feels more comfortable around you. You're developing a rapport for sure. Kel, to answer your question, the yes, if you want to know what those are, the persistent 8 runes around there are the Sogwin equivalent to the 8 schools of magic. Each one has kind of like a Venn diagram overlap, though, showing that they are not actually separate, but part of one greater whole. And there's the central button, if you will, that manifests just before you pressed. Was their word for destiny or fate.
Okay.
You guys follow Ira all the way to the easternmost edge of the crescent-shaped island, where she has like a naturally sort of cobbled together jetty of stones that go about 30 feet out into the ocean. There she sets up all of the supplies that Leo's been carrying, some incense to burn in a small brazier, a large stone medallion that she hangs between 2 pieces of driftwood that have been propped up on this stone jetty. So it kind of hangs like a gong. This like sheet of shale has been chiseled away to look kind of like a warrior shield that has 3 arcing lightning bolts emblazoned across it. And she has a large, looks kind of like a tuning fork that she also places next to the brazier that's burning incense. And she asks each of you if you have a prayer to offer Valkyr.
I guess Leo's just gonna say he wants to pray about keeping everyone safe. About it.
She
Read.
says that's good because Valkyr is a god of strength and bravery. He desires those qualities in his followers. Reed, you
I
start.
will offer a prayer for safe passage home.
Then your breath will not be wasted, dear Marius, for he is the Lord of Storms and the Captain of the 4 seas. Should he grant you his favor, your journey home will be swift and without incident.
I walk forward and I pray for essentially a a sign for what we should do, where we should go next. Which just may
Praying for
backfire.
wisdom is always a good idea. Yeah, go ahead. It may
I,
backfire.
I was gonna say this may backfire considering which god I'm actually attuned to.
Bitch did what? It's true, you don't want to anger the gods.
Definitely not.
Once each of you has said your prayers to her, she writes them down on small bits of parchment, which she then throws into the brazier and creates these, like, almost the smell is almost like acrid and gagging. These small plumes of deep, deep black smoke puff out of the brazier. Either the ink or the parchment she used creates this effect. But you can watch them climb up into the sky, maybe even a mile away. You can still kind of see this plume of black smoke that she's created. And she waits, just preying on this stone jetty, until in the very vast distance you can hear the single crackling of a distant thunderclap. And she takes that as a sign that Velker has heard your prayers. She says that you will sleep well tonight, and perhaps, putting her hand on Alexis, he will offer you guidance and wisdom.
Oh, good.
I don't want to rush anybody. Is there anything that people wanted to do today with some downtime?
Oh,
If not, now's a good place to stop, I think, before we get into anything meaty.
It's a good time to stop.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there is
Okay.
something I have to do before the sun sets while my mom is away. So
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then we'll call it here. Is everybody good for 2 weeks from today?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I believe it should be.
Awesome. I will put it on the calendar then, and I will see you guys then, hopefully for a 3-hour session. Thank you for being flexible.
yeah,
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We didn't
I
take a break,
agree.
but I guess we're out in 2 hours, so that counts. I will see, I'm sure, most of you in WoW tomorrow or Sunday.
Most likely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, if not, then D&D in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Feel free to use the Roll20 chat system to talk to each other if you want to, or Discord if I don't need to be a part of it. Like if it's just inter-character stuff. I don't know if we ever talked about that in the session 0 for the game, but if you guys want to just talk to each other and you don't feel like me as the DM needs to or should be a part of that conversation, please just have those ex parte communications. That can sort of add depth to the character relationships that are developing here. Don't think that all that has to happen here at the table.